and got the news that Dillian White had adverse finding in his VADA test. Couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like deja vu all over again and total shock. And then from there, you have to go to work. You know, the first thing you have to do, and we didn't get an opportunity to do it till the morning, was to speak to Anthony Joshua. I wasn't sure whether he'd want to fight. What I got was someone that was desperate to fight, and not just saying it, but this has been one of the best camps he's had in his career. He's been working so well with Derek James. His sparring's been fantastic, and he just
best camp in career.
And from there, you go out and you go into the wild west of who wants it, who doesn't want it, who's trying to get some exposure, who's trying to make a fortune. And you know, we wanted someone who could prepare him for Deontay Wilder. We wanted someone who was credible. We wanted someone that would come to fight. We wanted someone that we could do a deal with at pace. And that's
he knocked that bar over round one by Deontay
to the fight. And we got to Robert Delaney, who, you know, we know has had some big wins in America. Got chinned by Wilder, but came to fight, and that's why he got chinned. And I don't think it's a disgrace to get knocked out like that. But most importantly, was in shape, boxed on Saturday, got a stoppage victory.
And this was it. I mean, I was looking at it earlier already, and the very fact that he did fight, and it looks like some brick wall. I mean,
it was in a castle actually. Yeah,
in a castle, was it? I mean, it's not exactly Billy Big Time, is it? And this was days ago. So yet again, people are thinking, well, this guy fought this days ago.
Yeah, it's a good thing, because that was his little sort of warm-up fight where he just literally comes out and gets a win after the Deontay Wilder fight on pay-per-view. He had 2 good wins on Fox in America. I think one was on pay-per-view as well. He's a decent fighter. Beat Derek Chisora, lost to Dillian White on points. You know, he's a credible guy. 6'9", can punch a bit as well. And I think it's a good test for AJ to see where he's at after the Franklin bout.
Is he as good as you could get? Is that what you're saying?
I think within the time frame, within the the deals that were available, and you sometimes you get told Andy Ruiz wanted it.
Did he come into the conversation?
No, he put a tweet out on social media. Never contacted us. Or the team.
You didn't want to fight
Eddie. Talk about a guy who wants probably, I don't know, 10 million, whatever it is, to fight AJ. He's not going to get on a plane on Monday or Tuesday and go through that process. We also understand the whole pay-per-view argument. We have done, and we are taking the fight off pay-per-view. The financial difference for Joshua in this fight is astounding, but he wants to fight. And in terms of non-pay-per-view cards, I think this is probably one of the strongest we've ever done. Chisora against Washington, Hrgovic against Dempsey McKean, Johnny Fisher in his first title fight. No one can moan about that. But we're in a situation where, unfortunately, we have to deal with it. We all wanted to see the Dillian White fight, but at the same time, Anthony Joshua says, I've trained for 12 weeks. I want to fight Deontay Wilder next, and I want to fight on Saturday.
Well, Eddie, to be fair, Simon, you actually were expressing some sympathy, if you like, for Eddie and the predicament he found himself in.
I was expressing some sympathy.
Yeah,
because it's not easy, is it? I mean, Eddie tells us that the results, the information that he got was on the Saturday. I'd be curious to know when the tests were actually taken, and if that is indeed the fact, and those are the facts. It puts him in a cleft position, doesn't it? I mean, there's other people out there like Martin Bacoli that you could have spoken to and perhaps had a conversation with.
Frank Sanchez.
Whoever he puts in this situation, someone, somewhere, some section of people are going to turn around and say,
Charles
that's not
Martin.
good. The challenge is what do you do? Is Helenius someone that I would expect Anthony Joshua to deal with? Yes, I would. Is the challenge putting him into a fight of someone that he hasn't prepared for? We are watching the rebuilding of Anthony Joshua. Irrespective of whether I think certain things about Anthony Joshua, he does need an element of rehabilitation to get into a point where he can go into the top table with the top guys. Whether it's Deontay Wilder, whether it's Tyson Fury, Anthony, or whether it's Alexander Usyk again at some point. And it's not unreasonable for him to have had this fight with Dillian White. It's a proper good fight, that one. I think most people saw it in its merits and how it got, and I didn't like the idea of ridiculous things like rematch clauses in there, but we got there in the end. But I think it's unfair, and I'm quite happy to have a go at him, but I think it's unfair to turn around to him now and say, well, whatever you put, I didn't like the idea it was Chisora. I think Helenius is at the back end of his career and it's cannon fodder. But notwithstanding,
Trying to get beat.
He could have perhaps delayed the fight. Could have pushed it back
Because he fucked up in Naki.
It's difficult to do that when you train for 12 weeks to break camp, and then the other option, honestly, was to fight in October, November. When you train for 12 weeks, and then after that, come down, you have 3 or 4 weeks off, and you go back and you do another 8 or 9 weeks. We want to fight Deontay Wilder. We know December's unlikely, but we're still being told, and we were told as recently as 2 days ago or 3 days ago, whenever it was, you will be fighting. And he wants, and if he doesn't take this fight on Saturday, he won't fight Wilder in December or January. Because he'll end up fighting October or
What about
November.
fight fans already? and many listening this morning, say I've got my heart set on, I bought a ticket, I want to go and see Joshua White. So it's not happening. And I don't fancy Joshua Hellenius. What happens?
Well, I think you haven't done your research, Jim. You get a refund. I
mean, it's
yeah,
as simple as
absolutely.
that.
I mean, look, absolutely. I would, you know, we
So
do
you
this
expect
every
a lot of
time.
people coming to you for
I think
refunds?
it's a great heavyweight night. I think if you don't feel like you're getting value, you can get a refund. It's very simple. We have a very standard procedure, and we're fair to all customers.
Refund,
I think it's a great heavyweight night. I think it's a good heavyweight fight. I think it's a great undercard, but we also understand it's not what you bought a ticket for. So if you want a refund, you don't want a great heavyweight night on Saturday, you can get one.
So
And also at the same time, it's not on pay-per-view. It's part of your DAZN subscription. I think there's a lot of people, we know the pay-per-view argument, but it's designed to generate the revenue to make bigger fights. That's unfortunately.
You're not making bigger fights on DAZN.
But we can't be fairer than that.
Spend over £1
Ultimately,
billion
something that happened that was out of my control, out of AJ's control, and we have to deal with the circumstances. And I think in the circumstances, we've acted swiftly. Don't forget as well, there's more than 10, there's 16 other fighters on the card who have trained for 12 weeks. Fighters only get paid when they fight. You know, you've got fighters like even the younger lot who aren't even on the main broadcast. You've got George Liddard, you've got Campbell Hatton, you've got Maisie Rose. These guys have trained for 12 weeks. They only get paid if they fight. They're the ones that are contacting me faster than anybody on Monday.
It's
saying,
also
please
unfair.
keep
I mean,
fighting.
people are making noises about Hrgovic fighting. First of all, he's not prepared for Hrgovic, and Hrgovic is the mandatory IBF. Right? He's going to beat Dempsey McKean, so he's not going to go in against Anthony Joshua and give up the opportunity to be the next cab off the rank against Alexander Usyk.
And also, he's had a 12-week camp for a southpaw. So, you know,
So
it's not as easy.
You've got to be fair.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there'll always be Twitter moans, but I think in general, most people go, fair enough, good night, let's get on with it. And let's see AJ put what I believe, and not just Jet saying this, I think he's in the best I've seen him physically, mentally. And I was so disappointed because I think either way you're going to get a great performance, but he must box on Saturday.
The thing is, Eddie, this is deja vu all over again, as you rightly said. You didn't pull Ben Eubank straight away, and you faced criticism for that when Ben failed a couple of tests. But you pulled this one straight away.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference?
I think there's quite a few differences. I mean, firstly, the tests, the results, the substances were very different. Secondly, the conversations between the teams were different. Don't forget, that was a co-promotion, the Ben Eubank fight. This was a pure matchroom promotion. When we spoke to Wasserman and the team, they wanted to investigate the situation further. There was a lot of cloud over the fact that the board don't recognise VADA because they've done it previously. And Eubank's team said after... For the results, wanted to terminate the contract immediately. We had 1 week to go, and I will say, hands up, we learned a lot last time. You know, it was a fresh situation that we had to deal with in terms of sanctioning and also who governs what in terms of testing agents.
To be fair, I mean, I understand your position, but that's not strictly true. Because the rule was in place and you knew it was in place. And you argued with me last time emphatically, and where I will concede, your point that you made last time is about your inability to stop this fight. You and I debated the fight with Conor Benn, and I said you could have stopped it. And you said I couldn't have stopped it. I needed the British Boxing Board of Control to stop it. I needed their sanctioning or non-sanctioning to put me in that position. And then, of course, that I argued about the fact you have a representation agreement. You said you don't. So I need the bout agreement to be stopped. Right? But you took 48 hours to do it. And you've got your partner in the fight, your fight partner in Callis Ireland, on the day after the fact that you guys have been announced. You were told on the Tuesday evening, according to Robert Smith, October the 4th, this fight is going to be pulled by us. We're not going to sanction.
Wednesday morning.
No, he told. Well,
no, he didn't,
then he's a liar. Then.
Well, absolutely.
Okay,
he's told me that, and he is.
But he's told me that,
yeah,
and that's indefinite.
Then he's lying.
Right. So he's saying on October the 4th, he told you guys. So then between then, or 36
David is lying, yeah.
36 hours, your fight partner.
David lying, yeah.
That you and he and all the parties
You knew a week before.
were looking at other options. You didn't say it. He said it.
Matchroom rate, bro.
So he's either not talking correctly about what you did and didn't do, but it was a 36-hour gap. In this instance, your boy Frank Smith had a conversation with Robert Smith on Friday, and they pulled the fight instantaneously.
Friday what time?
This Friday just gone.
No, he didn't.
Well, according to Robert Smith, he did. So you had a conversation.
Hold on. Let's clear up a few things because you're waffling some.
No, I'm not waffling.
No, you are.
No,
Because you're talking like it's fact. You have to listen to what I say.
But I'm telling you the facts that I've
So
been
you're
told,
telling me,
your version.
okay, you're telling me, and you can clear this up after.
Yeah.
Robert Smith told you that he had a conversation with Frank Smith
Yep, cancel
on
the fight.
Friday.
Yep.
Just gone.
Correct.
Okay. The first knowledge that we had of this situation was on Saturday
Okay.
in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah,
So
no.
Robert Smith
Take it up with
is
boxing
a
body control.
complete liar.
And these are the things
if-
that I think
if
you need to be
something-
careful of.
No, but I think you need to be careful because
No,
you come
I
out
don't.
with what
I
you
don't.
state as facts, what actually aren't.
Eddie,
No, but
it's very simple.
No,
Right?
but you walk around. I spoke to him.
It's very simple, Eddie.
You're a journalist.
There is I'm not a journalist.
Yes, you are. You're a disc jockey.
No,
You
you
spoke.
said it, Eddie.
You are.
Eddie,
You can't wander around the industry
and
going, "Oh, I was speaking to the
and you're-
chairman of the British boxing."
And you're
Board of
your
Control."
dad's son whose business you inherited, right? So we can all throw out the same comments, right?
Let's wait. I want to
So-
address that.
so
I want to
let's-
address that.
let's
One
get-
second. No, I want
I
to address that.
haven't
One
finished.
second. No, I haven't.
I hadn't finished.
Because now you're talking
Hang on,
about
guys.
my father, you're talking about what I've inherited, and I'll say one thing now. You've got this bee in your bonnet. I don't know what it is.
I don't.
You brought it up on Twitter the other day.
I don't.
You just brought it up again now.
Because
you
I think you're-
inherited your daddy's
because-
business.
because-
So let's get one thing right. You have done very well,
Yes.
and so have I.
Yeah.
This is what you did. You took a company, startup, to
Yes, different to
what
you.
you say, yeah, totally
Different
different.
to you.
We all played a hands with you.
We do indeed.
You took a startup
We
company
do indeed.
to what you say was £100 million company. Lost a lot, don't worry.
No, you
Right?
don't. You don't know
Hold
that.
on,
Eddie.
let me finish.
Don't redirect into
Let
silly
me finish.
conversations. We're
I took, hold on, because I'm giving each other a pat on the back.
But hang on, we're talking about the consequences of the situation that's manifested itself. You took, whether it was 48 hours, you took
I'm
36.
going back
You
to the
took 30.
person
You took
guy.
36
No, no, no.
hours. And you're the one that makes
Well,
it.
let's get back on track. Let's get back
I
on
want to
track,
finish this.
though.
I want to finish it.
I think people listening want to know what happened regarding the fight.
Okay. This is right.
Irrespective of what
Okay.
you two,
Okay.
how you two have got to where you got to, or wherever.
Okay. All I was doing was.
Here's the
You were
thing.
correcting my view.
Here's the thing.
No,
Eddie, I want to ask you
It
this.
wasn't a view. Go on.
Fine.
Get
Get
him
him on the phone. Happy to.
Get him
Well,
on.
we can get Robert
I-
Smith
I-
in
I-
for
I-
it.
I-
What would you
Because I don't see how
Eddie,
the
Eddie,
chairman.
I don't need to.
You
Because
don't
I-
need to.
no, hang on,
But-
I can play the audio from the interview that he did.
When?
So I don't need the audio.
When?
He did an interview with me in March of this year. It's a
No,
fact.
you're talking about
It's
the
indelible.
Dylan White situation.
And in this conversation,
You're telling you,
In
you
this-
spoke to him
okay.
this week.
You know,
He
like pop
apparently
dirt in that
had a
corner.
conversation with us.
Eddie,
before you
did
did
it
that.
take you 36 hours? I say 48 hours to cancel the Ben.
We
Did it take you 36 hours or 48 hours? Because it definitely
Less
took.
than-
It
less than
definitely took.
24.
It definitely took you 36.
No, from their decision.
But you
which
didn't
was-
cancel it until Thursday evening.
No, we
and
did.
you-
We had
and
a
you-
press conference on Thursday afternoon,
Right.
where it was already cancelled. It was announced.
So
Get your facts
so maybe
right.
32 hours.
Get
then.
your facts
Maybe
right.
32 hours. then.
Not
The
even
fact
24.
of the matter is
Not
already.
even 24.
What we will
You
do
lie,
is take
Eddie,
it.
and you know you are.
No,
You're lying,
get him
Eddie.
on.
You're lying, Eddie. You just
Simon,
misrepresented it.
Simon, stay
And-
calm.
and in
Stay
this-
calm.
I'm
You're
very
getting
calm.
red again. Listen,
I'm not going red.
you are. The
In
blood,
this
the blood
instance-
pressure's out of control. You've got
In
calm,
this
sir.
instance,
Listen,
in this instance, you cancelled it promptly. So well
Yes.
done you.
thank you.
You
Would
done
you
well
know?
done you.
You know.
But you know what? Here's the thing you couldn't do. Not even you, in your most brazen snake-old salesman guys, could get away with delaying this particular one.
No, we didn't. No, we
Yes, you
didn't.
did. Callie Sowland, who's your business
No, no,
partner.
no, no, no.
But it's a fact, Eddie.
But
Because
it
the
all
interviews that
started
you've
so
done.
well as well. didn't
Callie
it? It all started
Sowland
so
spoke
well.
on your behalf, saying that all parties sat around considering all options.
Correct.
So that means
That was.
considering all options. So when the British Boxing Board of Control, who have the authority, which you said they didn't have in the last interview that we discussed,
Which was-
and they subsequently found out they did.
No.
As a blue chip promoter, I would have thought that you knew it. I did know it, but you didn't. But by the way, if you don't know 10 times as much as me, what the hell have you been doing all your life? Because you bloody well should do. But the point is, you sat
You know nothing.
you
You know nothing.
by,
And the reality
by, by the
is,
nature
you
of
make
what
up these
suits
numbers.
you.
We found out
But it's
Wednesday
not true, Eddie.
morning.
It's not true, Eddie, is it?
Yes, it is true.
And you didn't
Because
stop the
you
fight
waffle.
until 36 hours later.
The listeners will
No,
hate
no,
me
no,
for this,
no,
but I've got to
no,
jump
it's
in,
there.
guys. I've got to
Okay.
jump in at this stage.
Everyone
Whose
knows it
face is redder than whose is, irrespective of that. We're back after this.